Global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to Global Happenings Today YouTube channel. While Nigerians are gathered in Lagos, cheering on Bassi, I'm talking about Hilda Bassi for breaking the Guinness record for cooking marathon. In Abuja, Nigerians are also gathered at the High Court of Abuja, making demands. Apparently, from all that is going on right now, Nigerians are making strong move to ensure that Bola Tinubu is not sworn in come May 29th using very strong legal means to achieve this. But before we go into the newspaper to find out what is going on, as in pari passu, Abuja already in court, Lagos Nigerians gathering for Hilda Bassi world record. Would like to subscribe, Guinness World Record. Would like to subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button beside it. Receive bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as we update our channel on YouTube. All right, quickly, let's hit the ground running. According to the news, Abuja residents, that's Abuja voters, are at the Federal High Court Abuja demanding a stop to the swearing in on May 29th, 2023 until the determination of the 25% vote requirement of the FCT as stated in our constitution. Now, let me break the news down in full. Well, the petition and the file they wrote is in Federal High Court of Abuja, holding at Abuja, suit number FHC /ABJ /CS /578 /282, Federal High Court Abuja. It was initially originated by 28 April 2023, and between 1 Anyagbonam Ubaka Okoye, 2 David Andover Aze, 3 Jeffrey Owibege Uche, 4 Osag Paul, 5 Chibuike Nwachukwu for themselves and as representing other residents and registered voters of the Federal Capital Territory Abuja, excepting those exempting themselves, and 1, they are the plaintiff, of course. Then the defendants are 1, the Attorney General of the Federation, then 2, the Honorable Chief Justice of Nigeria. Originating summon. Let the defendant of see below within 30 days after service of this summons on him, inclusive of the day of such service, cause an appearance to be entered for him to this summons which issued upon the application of the plaintiffs for the declaration of their fundamental human rights upon the determination of the following questions. Question 1, that's question for determination is 1. Whether the plaintiffs and other residents are registered voters of the Federal Republic or Federal Capital Territory Abuja have a legal interest in and therefore a constitutional right to be heard on the question whether or not the person who is to be elected President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and consequently administrator of the territory through the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory and the Federal Capital Territory Development Authority on the first ballot is required by Section 134 subsection 2B of the Constitution to obtain at least 25% of the vote cast in the Federal Capital Territory. 2. Whether the plaintiffs and other residents and registered voters in the Federal Capital Territory Abuja would not be discriminated against if any state within the Federal Republic of Nigeria were substituted for the Federal Capital Territory Abuja for the purpose of the application of Section 134 subsection 2B of the Constitution in any guise. 3. Whether any candidate in the February 25th, 2023 presidential election in the country may validly be declared elected and sworn in as President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and therefore the authority to administer or oversee the administration of the Federal Capital Territory through the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory and the Federal Capital Territory Development Authority without so many things they said, quite a huge one, I must say. But then many Nigerians are reacting to this. They're already in court with the hope that their voices will be heard. But let me finish, quite a long one, but let me just quickly finish it so we can understand what they're asking for. They said whether number 4, so whether the court may restrain the swearing in of any person on May 29, 2023, or at any other date until the issue raised in the summons have been determined with finality. Relief sought that 1. A declaration that the plaintiffs and other residents and registered voters of the Federal Capital Territory Abuja have a legal interest in and therefore a constitutional right to be heard on the questions whether or not the person who is to be elected President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and consequently Administrator of the Territory through the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory and the Federal Capital Territory Development Authority on the first ballot is required by Section 134 subsection 2b of the Constitution to obtain at least 25% of the vote cast in the Federal Capital Territory. 2. A declaration that the plaintiffs and other residents, registered voters of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, may not be denied the interest that the Constitution gives to them in the acceptability amongst them of the person who is elected President of the country and therefore Administrator of the Territory through the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory and the Federal Capital Territory Development Authority by the requirement obtained or contained at Section 134, subsection 2b thereof, that such person must obtain at least 25% of the vote cast in the Federal Capital Territory on the first ballot. A declaration that the plaintiff and other residents, registered voters of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, may not be discriminated against in juxtaposition with the residents and voters of the state of the country in the determination of whether or not any candidate in the February 25th presidential election fulfilled the condition to be declared elected as stated as Section 134, subsection 2b of the Constitution by means of substituting any state for the Federal Capital Territory. 4. A declaration that no state of the country is at the same time the Federal Capital Territory for any purpose whatsoever, including in particular under Section 134, subsection 2b of the Constitution. 5. That a declaration that no candidate in the February 25th presidential election in the country may validly be declared elected President of the Federal Capital Territory or the Federal Republic of Nigeria without the candidate obtaining 25% of the vote cast in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. 6. A declaration that no candidate in the February 25th presidential election may validly be sworn in as President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria without such candidate having obtained 25% of the vote cast in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. And 7. A declaration that the following the 25th February presidential election and until a successor is determined in accordance with the provision of the Constitution, I wonder, but if you ask me, I wonder if they'll be able to contain this. But let's continue anyway. He said that they will not be sworn in the tenure of the office of His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, GCON, as President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, subsists and endures in accordance with the provision of Section 135, subsection 1a of the Constitution. That 8. And order setting aside or suspending any declaration or issuance of certificate of return to any candidate in the February 25th presidential election in the country as having been elected, save and except it is judicially determined with the finality that such candidate fulfill the condition stated as Section 134, subsection 2b of the Constitution. That 9. An order restraining the Chief Justice of Nigeria, any other judicial officer or any other authority or person from swearing in any candidate in the February 25th presidential election as President or Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria until the judicially determined with finality in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution that such candidate has fulfilled the requirement of Section 134, subsection 2b of the Constitution. Such further or other orders as the Honorable Court may deem fit to make in the circumstances of the case. Now, of course, they've all signed indemnity partners and the rest. Let's meet in the comment section. You've heard it all.